Hello, and welcome back to What's New in Social. We're going to talk about all of the biggest social media marketing stories that have been going on for the past month or so. Let's hop in, starting with Instagram. Instagram is letting you add up to 20 songs to your Reels now, which is kind of exciting. So basically, you can be your own sort of Instagram Reel DJ. And instead of in the past, where you could only use one audio track from Instagram's library, you can now add up to 20 different songs to kind of make your own little mix. So you could do what's on my playlist this summer, or, just make up like a funny kind of mashup, however you like, really. And when you do that, it will go ahead and attribute that specific mix to you. So if you do start a trending reel that compiles up to 20 different songs, it goes viral, people start using it, they can, credit that audio track to you, which is kind of cool. Something else that's going on Instagram, they are updating their notes feature. So notes appeared initially at the top of the inbox or above a profile photo. They're basically a way for you to communicate just with your friends or like a specific group of people. We've talked before about the close friends feature, or it can be used for people who follow you back. So people who are your friends, essentially. And it's a way for you to add additional context and just kind of be like a little secret, inside joke, I suppose. Well, instead of just existing at the top of the inbox or a profile photo, they're now rolling out to reels or feed posts as well. So only your friends can see notes, which you can share either with followers you follow back or those in your close friends group. Someone is more likely to see a post or reel when a note has been added, according to Meta. So this is kind of huge and why we're paying attention to it. And while the inbox and profile notes are viewable for up to 24 hours, notes on feed posts and reels will be visible for up to 3 days and seem to only show up in the app and not on a web browser. So sounds like they are boosting these posts in the algorithm. If you add a note to it, just like another thing to do on your social media manager to-do list. You could definitely gamify it a little bit and maybe share, a giveaway or a secret. Make sure to comment the secret emoji so I know you're a part of the, insiders or whatever. I mean, seems a little unnecessary, but we just if they're rolling it out, they're prioritizing it. Why not just like give it a shot, I guess? Another thing that they're allegedly working on, this was seen by just somebody in the wild, a mobile developer. So it looks like there is a potential super like feature coming to Instagram, which is quite interesting. What do you think? So basically, you know how you can like stories, you can click the heart on Instagram stories. Well, there is a super like option that is allegedly being tested according to this screenshot where you hold the like button and it'll send a super like. And you can only send one of these every 24 hours. Now, this might be familiar to some people. I think Tinder has a feature like this. I think Bumble has a super swipe or something like that. Basically, it's just a way to indicate like you really like that story. And it's funny because I see so much chatter about this on Threads. I think it's just like silly chatter, but people saying that liking an Instagram story is flirting. What do you think? Do you think that liking an Instagram story is flirting? And to double down, do you think a super like I think saying that liking an Instagram story is flirting is like a little much. But I think if somebody sent me a super like, I would be like, okay, they really want me to pay attention to them. So I would probably consider that flirting. But I guess it depends on the context of the story, right? Now let's head over to Threads. There's just one big thing that I want to talk about for Threads today, and we're going to circle back to some of this stuff at the end of the episode. Really, there's this big talk coming up again about Threads and politics. As you know, if you've been watching or listening to these episodes for a while, Threads has really tried to distance themselves from politics. And even though they are really the top X or Twitter competitor, they do not really want to be known for the same things that X is known for, namely politics, According to this article from Social Media Today, the events that happened on January 6th, that was a big trigger point that sparked Meta's team to explore culling politics completely from its app, which is what's led to its new stance. But if Threads in particular wants to succeed and supersede X as the real-time platform of choice, it may well need to rethink this approach, as reflected by Biden's announcement. In case you've been living under a rock or you don't pay attention to politics, President Biden announced last Sunday that he will not be running for re-election anymore, and he about 20 minutes later, then endorsed Vice President Kamala Harris. And seems like she is going to be the Democratic nominee. And we're going to actually talk about that at the end of the episode. There's quite a bit going on with Kamala and her social that I want to address, but I know not everybody's into politics, so we're going to save that to the end. But the point is, Biden, he went to Twitter first to make this announcement. Twitter, or X, still wins for this stuff. And there was also a huge discrepancy in the response to this post. Obviously, this is huge news for anybody on any side of the political aisle. And on Threads, the announcement only saw 12,000 likes in, the same time period as it did on X, whereas they saw almost 1 million. So, it just marks a huge difference here in the visibility of political posts. And I think it's just got a lot of people thinking, what do we really want out of these platforms? And if X's success in past election years says anything, it's that, people want real-time politics. So they might have to change their stance. Who knows? Speaking of X, let's go over there. So Grok is the AI bot that Elon Musk has been developing. And there's some new features coming out. I feel like a lot of the news coming out about Grok has always been so vague. So it's been cool to see some actual screenshots of what you can really do with it. So there's some new Grok features on the web for premium subscribers. You can hover over an account and Grok can give you a quick summary about it. And then you can also choose to highlight any text and ask Grok about it. So these screenshots show a little dialog box saying more about this account and then highlighting the text. The example they show is tell me about Elon Musk in 1 or 2 sentences, and it gives you like a little bio. So pretty cool. I can definitely see huge X users finding, seeing stuff that they like here. And it's cool to see it moving forward, I guess, and see like actual examples of what's going on. Another update, an app developer spotted this one. It looks like X has worked on the ability to let you disable links in the replies of your post. Now, I think this is fantastic if this is true and if this is really going to roll out. We have seen X becoming just like spam-alicious, like just so many spammers. And I think, again, when we are heading into election season, you start to see a lot of like misinformation, clickbait, political, just scandalous stuff. So if you post something that you want to make sure spammers are not getting to, you'll be able to hopefully disable links in your replies coming soon. That's cool. Similarly, another moderation feature, which I'm excited about, on X, you can now request a community note. So community notes are different from Instagram notes, where they are published by moderators, essentially from Twitter or X's community. And they're often fact-checking, right? If you say the sky is green, there might be a community note that says, actually, according to like most scientists, they say it actually appears to be blue. If you see something on X now that is misinformation or harmful in some way, you can now request a community note on a post that you believe would benefit from one. If there are enough requests, community notes contributors will see an alert and can choose to propose a note. This gives people on X who are not contributors a way to help and lets contributors know where notes might be found helpful. So, love to see that. Let's take a moment for a word from our sponsor, Metricool. Metricool just released their 2024 social media network study, and they analyzed over 33 million social media posts from 9 different social platforms. The study's packed with valuable insights along with updated trend predictions for the rest of the year. You can find answers to questions like, what are the best days and times to post for each platform? Have brands maintain their interaction and engagement? What platforms and strategies are working best for brands and businesses, and so much more. If you like these What's New in Social episodes, you're going to love digging into this social media report from Metricool. Be sure to download it down in the show notes, and you can also use my code Latasha alongside my link, which will also be down in the show notes, to get 30 days free on any of Metricool's premium plans. Metricool is my social media scheduler and analytics tool of choice. It has totally changed my business, so be sure to check out their pro plan, free for 30 days with the code Latasha, that's Latasha, at the link in the show notes. They also have a fantastic free plan. Check it out. Everything will be linked for you down below. Let's head over to TikTok. Okay, this is a very, very exciting, another screenshot, another little insider screenshot here. Matt Navarra posted on Threads that he is seeing the ability to upload a custom cover slash thumbnail for your videos on TikTok, which is huge. In the past, you could only scrub through your video and find like a still that you find to be semi okay. And then you just have to add your own text using the TikTok, platform. You can't like upload your own photo. So this is really nice, especially considering TikTok is really trying to compete with YouTube at this point. They're trying to push for longer form content. They're just trying to take things to the next level. And I think this makes it a lot easier to create branded content, to create episodic content, to create content that is really long form, authoritative, that does not just feel like you just posted it from your phone, which I think in many ways is TikTok's strength, but I think they're trying to get people to think next level. And so this is pretty cool. Looks like this option is available in app and on desktop. So huge news there. And then another thing TikTok's done recently, which I think is pretty awesome, is they have partnered with Eventbrite to simplify event promotion and creation for the global TikTok community. So, Eventbrite is a platform that you can use to sell tickets or give away tickets to a community event and meet up with people. In real life, essentially. Now they've got an integration with TikTok. So they've got like a guy playing a saxophone, I believe. Maybe he's having a concert. He can link to his Eventbrite concert ticket sales directly in that TikTok so that people don't even need to leave the app to attend or to, get tickets to attend. TikTok says now any Eventbrite creator or LinkedIn user can add Eventbrite links directly to their TikTok videos, helping the TikTok community discover event details and purchase tickets without ever leaving the app. I don't know. I see a lot of potential for this for everything from like small nonprofits to musicians and artists and, just community meetups. I think it could be cool for sure. Let me know what you think of this or any of the stories that we've talked about so far down in the comments if you're watching on YouTube. Okay, now apparently this is kind of old news, but I just got the email in my inbox maybe a couple of weeks ago. LinkedIn is rolling out or has rolled out company page messaging to all brands. Again, this was news for me, even though this article is posted on social media today back in March. So you may have already experienced this, but just letting you know because I just got the email. Historically on LinkedIn, you could only send messages to people from your personal profile. And now they're rolling out messaging to company pages. You do have to turn it on. So you've got to go into your LinkedIn company page settings and enable that option. I just went in and enabled it on my LinkedIn company page. It was super easy to do. It just took a couple of seconds. So definitely if you post a lot on your LinkedIn company page, you should definitely turn this on. It doesn't hurt to have one more way for your potential customers to access you in an easier way. And then LinkedIn's also launched sponsored newsletters, which is pretty cool. They've got a lot of different ways that you can place ads on their platform, everything from just regular updates to inbox ads, and now newsletters are a new form of advertising. It looks like only newsletter articles authored by a company and part of an organic company page post can be sponsored. So you can't sponsor your own, Latasha James's newsletter on behalf of James and Park. I would have had to post that to my company page in order to sponsor it. Looks like member authored newsletter articles can't be sponsored, but this capability will be available in a future release. So they've really invested in their long form writing, their newsletter features, their article features. And so, yeah, it'd be cool to see how a sponsored newsletter fared in the, world of sponsored posts, I suppose. YouTube. Let's talk about YouTube quickly. So similar to TikTok, I don't know who came first, to be honest. I guess I got to check the dates on these things, but they're both listening that we want some customization to our shorts. And while YouTube is not allowing us to upload custom thumbnails to YouTube Shorts quite yet, in the coming months, they will be testing and launching features, including the ability to edit Shorts thumb frames post-upload, as well as add text and filters. So they're basically going to let us do what TikTok used to let us do by scrubbing through our video and choosing a thumbnail or thumb frame, as they're calling it, and adding some text and filters, which is better than nothing. Because right now, if you look at my Shorts feed, some of them are so embarrassing. I'm like, it like catches you in just like the most awkward positions, and it's So annoying to me. But it's interesting because in this quick video, they explain that, their data has showed that it really doesn't matter considering most people are viewing shorts in the feed type, format. I suppose most people are not going to a user's profile, clicking shorts and clicking on the thumbnails in the same way that people do for long form YouTube videos. So they're just not investing in that feature. I mean, I guess they don't care about their creators' humiliation, but okay, that's fine. Another test has been spotted out in the wild. It looks like they're testing YouTube, that is testing community spaces to drive fan engagement, which is pretty fun. I think they're seeing that a lot of YouTubers are going to sites like Patreon or Discord or, a membership site or something like that. And even just like Twitter or Threads. So YouTube is looking to integrate a more social platform type of element into YouTube, which enables channel fans to engage and interact via text posts. So the quick screenshot of this, honestly, it looks a lot like Twitter to me, which is interesting. We do have the community tab on YouTube where I can post updates to you. You might see them time to time. I should probably use it more often, I'll be honest. But this will enable you all to kind of create your own community too. So you could create a post, I'm assuming, saying, hey, last episode of the podcast, what'd you guys think? Or I don't know, I created a video that's similar to this. And you could create your own community within my channel, which I really like. It is kind of irritating having to migrate over. Hey, follow me on X, follow me on Threads, follow me on Instagram, join my membership group. So we'll see how this develops. And if it really rolls out to everybody. Okay, now, like I said, I wanted to dedicate some time just to the huge political news that came out over the past week. I know not everybody's into politics. Some people might get offended, so I'm saving this to the end. If you don't care, that's fine. Hope you enjoyed the episode, and I hope to see you next time. But we've definitely seen some really interesting energy on social media ever since the president announced that he is no longer running for re-election and has essentially been replaced in the race by Vice President Kamala Harris. One of the marked differences that I'm noticing, just energy-wise, vibes-wise, let's say, is among young people. Young people overall seem to be quite excited about the change, at least young people on the left, obviously, who would be voting for one of these two candidates. They seem to be a lot more excited than when President Biden was running. And it's interesting because even in the social strategy that Kamala's campaign is using, it very much is targeting and courting young voters. One of the things that she's done is joined TikTok, which, according to the New York Times, is another sign of the app's value in reaching young voters. So she launched her account just on Thursday. Her video has already been viewed 5.8 million times, probably more now that it's been a couple of days. And she's gained over 1 million followers. Again, we'll have to see what it is today. I'll put it up on the screen. Now, Joe Biden and his campaign did join TikTok as well, but they just did not see the same momentum as Kamala did. And even more interesting than this from a political standpoint to me is the TikTok ban. I don't know if anyone's really thought too deeply about that yet. It kind of hit me when I saw that she's joined TikTok. I'm like, she has young stepchildren. I think they're college age. Maybe they're older by now. I don't know. Time flies, but they're, I think, in their 20s. And in March, according to this article, Kamala Harris said that the administration had, quote, national security concerns about TikTok, but that it had, quote, no intention to ban it. A month later, however, as we know, the president, Joe Biden, signed the bill banning the site unless its parent company, ByteDance, sells the site. So it's interesting because we're seeing some slight divergence here on policy. Obviously, the VP just kind of more or less has to do whatever the president says, but it sounds like Vice President Harris was not super interested in banning it. So we'll have to see, maybe if we got a President Harris, TikTok would be okay. It's hard to say. I don't think she's spoken about it publicly yet, and she is still working as vice president. So it puts her in kind of a weird position for some policy stuff. But my hunch is that we're going to see the TikTok ban just kind of fade away if we do indeed get a President Harris. Now, going back to some social media strategy stuff, this is, it's like the meme that just wouldn't go away. Kamala is brat. Now, I don't know what this means, to be honest. I needed these articles breaking it down, explaining what Kamala is brat and what lime green is. I'm officially an old. I get that. Basically, the long story short is it's a Charlie XCX who is a musician, a pop artist. She says in her music, I guess, that the meaning of brat is to be, quote, that girl who's a little messy and likes to party, who feels herself, but maybe also has a breakdown, is very honest, very blunt, and a little bit volatile. And Charlie XCX, upon the Kamala Harris news, tweeted, Kamala is brat. So I guess she's saying Kamala is that girl who's messy and likes to party. I think it's a compliment. And listen, whatever. Again, I'm not going to be talking personally about my feelings about politicians or whatever, but what's interesting is the campaign's response was to go all in on that. This campaign understands the importance of the youth vote. And I don't think we've seen anyone actively court the youth vote in such a way since 2008. Do with that information what you will. They went ahead and changed the threads and Twitter background to the brat color and font. And they've got just some really funny things actually on their threads account. Like they posted the other day, again, politics aside here, about the vice presidential candidate on the other side, JD Vance. They posted something that says JD Vance is weird and creepy. Like Joe Biden could never. They really are getting this Gen Z humor. They're being funny. They're being snarky without being completely inappropriate, I think. There is definitely a line. It's really interesting to see. Like I said, I don't think we've really seen this kind of courting of the youth vote since 2008. The difference is I was alive back then and able to vote almost back then. And we didn't have social media like we do today. So it's interesting to see it kind of play out. This whole transition between Joe Biden being the Democratic frontrunner or Democratic candidate to Kamala being the frontrunner happened like this. I mean, he dropped out and he endorsed her 20 minutes later. So what else happened like this was her branding. The new Kamala Harris presidential campaign branding came together within hours. I just want to say that's amazing. Shout out to those workers, the digital team. I'm sure that was not an easy day for them, let's say. But this was a really cool article from Fast Company just about how it all came together. I thought I would share it. I enjoyed reading it. Some information on the strategy behind the branding. Rather than reaching back to Harris's 2020 campaign logo and its unconventional purple, red, and yellow color palette, the logo was designed to match the pre-existing Biden-Harris campaign identity. And because of that, it communicates continuity, a hallmark of visual design for vice presidential running mates who later run for the top job. That continuity isn't just for the branding either. Harris is inheriting the Biden-Harris campaign staff, headquarters, and bank account. All right, so that's what's going on in the world of social this month. Let me know in the comments on YouTube which of these stories you're most excited about. Any of them have you a little stressed out? Let me know. I always love to hear from you, particularly in these episodes. And if you're new here, be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel. You can also subscribe to the podcast over on Spotify, Apple Podcasts. It's called the Freelance Friday Podcast. I'm Latasha James, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye.